Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley here for ellenhudson.com. Thanks for joining me today. By the end of this video, I think you're going to be falling for treat boxes because we are talking all about fall themed treat boxes featuring the brand new tall house box die as well as the pyramid box die with its new candy corn add-on. I think these are great ways to give little gifts during the fall season. And I wanted to start out with a look at the tall house die. Now it comes with not only the base of the box, but these options for doors and windows. Now, if you want to give your house a spookier look, you can grab the Tall House Box Halloween add-on. And this has more door and window options along with a little rooftop option. So it's a great way to kind of change up the look of this Tall House Box die. Now, I started out this project by die cutting the Tall House Box die twice from the Essentials by Ellen linen cardstock. This is going to give me a white house with a little bit of texture. And the great thing about these dies is that it creates the score lines for you. So you can see I'm just folding over on all of those score lines, getting my pieces prepared. Now these near the roof line, they have an angled score to them. So I'm just gonna fold along that angled score line, and all of these creases I'm gonna reinforce with a bone folder. And I'm gonna take both of these base pieces and do the same thing. So just getting all of those folds kind of creased into the cardstock, it's really gonna make it a lot easier to put together. Now, before I put this together, I'm going to do some die cutting on these base pieces. I wanted to create some windows and a door on this house. So I am using the circle window, and there are two window options. So there is the window option that I am adhering directly onto the base piece that will cut just the holes for the window. And then the other pieces I am using, those create the frames for the window. So I die cut those from some colored cardstock. So here's a look at that pink window frame there, and it will nestle right over the window opening dies that I have taped in place on the box piece. Now I'm using pieces from both the Tall House Box set as well as the Tall House Box Halloween add-on. So this roof here is from the add-on. The arched door is also from the add-on. So you can kind of mix and match these sets. And I have a feeling, I don't know this for sure, but I have a feeling they're going to come out with some other options to kind of change up this Tall House Box die. And I love how the Essentials by Ellen line releases products that work so well together. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to run it through my die cut machine and create those window openings on my house. So you can see it just cuts those little pieces and knocks them out. So it's kind of like a knockout die here. And I will be able to put my frame pieces directly over those to add a little bit of color. Now, because I want more than one window, I'm going to go ahead and use those same dies and die cut a couple more times. And honestly, I did not even bother creating windows on the back side of my house. So I just have windows on the sides of my house, on the front of my house, but not on the back. Now for the door, I went ahead and die cut the frame piece twice and just trimmed off the pink part so I could have a pink door and a dark gray frame. And then I'm going to add these frame pieces right over my window knockouts using a little bit of the Barely Arts glue. And if you have not tried the Barely Arts glue, pick some up because it is one of my favorite adhesives. I use it all the time, and it is now available in the ellenhudson.com online shop. Now, to add a little bit of a warm glow to these window openings, I took some Essentials by Ellen vellum. I colored it using a Copic marker and I trimmed it down into some small pieces, and I'm just going to glue it onto the back side of my windows, and that's going to give me just a warm orange glow to these windows and kind of obscure the view of whatever I put inside of this treat box. Now, if I were to put something small inside of this treat box, it would also keep it from falling out of those window openings. So I just added it there for the aesthetics mostly. But keep in mind that if you're going to put really small items in there, you'll probably want to add a little bit of vellum on the back side of these windows. So now that I have my box decorated and the windows die cut, I'm going to go ahead and start prepping to assemble my box. And I'm going to start by adding some 1/4-inch score tape to the tabs. Now, most of the time when you're working with a box die, you're going to have these tabs And generally speaking, that's where your adhesive is going to go. So I'm adding it to the tabs that are on the side of the house. And I removed the backer and I'm just lining these up to where they create one long piece and adhering those together. Now, when I did this, the tab was actually showing through my vellum window. So I went ahead and just trimmed out part of the tab, like an opening for the window, so that you wouldn't see the tab through the window. If you don't want to have to deal with doing something like this, you can just move your window over a little bit so you wouldn't be able to see that tab through it. So now that I have these two pieces connected, I'm going to go ahead and remove the backer from the other side tab here. So I'm just going to remove that. And then I'm going to take the side of my house, or it's actually the back side of my house, and fold it to where it meets the inner score line of that tab. So watch here. I'm just going to fold right along the score lines. Those line up perfectly. And the bulk of my house is actually assembled at this point. Now I'm removing the backer from the tabs that are on the bottom of the house, and I'm going to close up this box from the bottom. And if you're having a hard time getting the backer of your adhesive off, you can just use the little craft pick tool from Tonic. It's great. Or if you have a craft blade in your craft room, you can use that as well. So I'm just going to fold the smaller tabs in and then fold the bottom pieces to where they overlap. And I do have another strip of adhesive on this outside bottom tab. So I'm just going to fold that up. And now I have the base of my box. Now, if you want to, you can adhere these top pieces to the angled tabs that are along the top of the house to kind of keep this all sealed up. But I want to be able to open and close it. So I've just folded those in to where they're on the inside of the house, and they just meet up with those angled score lines that we created earlier. Now I have my two roof pieces, and I cut these from some Concord & Ninth mushroom cardstock. I'm just adding them on to the top of my house with a little bit of Barely Arts glue. And the thing I love about this glue is it's a nice strong glue, but it has this nice needle tip point that you can just stick a pin in when you're done. I don't have problems with it clogging. If it does clog slightly, I can just run the pin up and down and it clears really easily. It's just a great glue. I've been using it in my craft room for quite some time, and so I really do recommend it. Now, once I have those roof pieces in place, I'm just going to take the top tabs and fold them into the inside of the box, and that completes the assembly of my little tall house box die. I love that I can fit a gift card in this, and I'm going to show you another way that you can kind of change it up. But first, I'm going to decorate the outside of this tall house box with a couple jack-o'-lanterns and this kind of not so spooky tree. I know, I try to do spooky. It's just really not my thing. But all of the products that I'm using today on this tall house box die are a part of the brand new Essentials by Ellen September 2022 release. It's hitting the shop on September 16th, 2022. It is full of Halloween and other great products that I think you'll use year round. And one of those products is the new Modern Tags die set. And so I created a modern tag and I tied it to the top of my house, and you'll see that in the photos at the end, and that just finished off this adorable little treat box. Now, I wanted to see if I could kind of change up the look of this tall house box die. And so I've die cut it again twice from some Essentials by Ellen linen cardstock, and I'm adding my adhesive to the same tabs that I did before. And this time, instead of creating a house from this tall house box die, I'm going to create a more milk carton style box. So basically, I'm going to put this together in the same way that I did the first tall house box die. So I'm connecting them end to end or side to side here. And then I'm taking this tab on the side and I am removing the adhesive, and then I'll fold over that back side to where it meets up with the score line of this tab to kind of close it up. And then I will close up the bottom. Now, the only difference in creating the tall house box versus the milk carton is what you do with the top of this box. So instead of folding the tabs in to create that roof line, I am going to bring them up and kind of tie them together with a little bit of twine. Now, this was super fun and easy to do. It was fun to experiment with kind of a different way to assemble this box. The only thing that you need to do in order to tie this closed is to add a couple of little holes along those top tabs as you bring them up. And to do that, I used my crocodile punch to create two 1/8 inch holes along those tabs. So you'll see me do that here in just a few minutes. Now, as I was assembling this box, I thought this would make a really cute decorative element for a Thanksgiving table. Because I'm taking this in a completely different direction, instead of going Halloween, I'm going more fall, maybe not traditional fall colors, but Carissa fall colors. And so I thought these would be adorable at each place on a Thanksgiving table. And you could definitely die cut the leaves that I'm using. These are also from the brand new Essentials by Ellen line that's coming tomorrow. You could die cut those from different colors of cardstock to match your Thanksgiving decor. Now, if you don't want to tie this box closed at the top, you could definitely use some tape runner or glue adhesive to hold these two tabs together. But I wanted to be able to open and close this box because I'm not quite ready to use it. It's still like 110 here this week in California. So I'm not feeling the fall vibes yet, at least not in the air. I'm feeling it in the craft room, but not in the air. So I wasn't quite ready to use this yet. So I wanted to create an option where I could still open and close this box and add a treat later on. So I punched the two holes in both tabs, and then I just tied them together using a little twine. Now I'm going to take the two leaves that I've created from the Leaves die set from the Essentials by Ellen line, and this little tag that I have created with the Modern Tags die, as well as the new up and coming Hocus Pocus stamp and coordinating die set. And I'm going to tie it around the large base of the box here. So I have two bows going on, but that's okay. And it says, "Hey Pumpkin." And I'm just going to slide these leaves up underneath that tag, add them on with a little bit of liquid glue, and look at how cute that is and how different this box looks from the first box that we created. Now, to bump up the sparkle on these, I used a little bit of glitter cardstock to cut the veining on the leaves, as well as the little tag reinforcer on this modern tag. And I think that is a fun way to add a little unexpected sparkle. But as soon as I'm done futzing with this bow here, I'm going to show you this completed project. And I think it is a fun way to kind of change up the look of this Tall House box die. Now for our third project, I am going to use the Pyramid box die. Now this was released last year, I believe, around Halloween time. But this year there is a new candy corn add-on that you can kind of change up the look of this Pyramid box die. So I have die cut the box base from some Essentials by Ellen clear plastic. I thought it would be fun to have a clear box so that you could kind of see the treats inside. And then I've die cut two of the three kind of colored pieces, which are intended to be colored pieces of the candy corn. And I am adhering them along the sides of the box. Now I'm doing this all before I assemble the box. The box is very easy to put together. Once again, you're just going to add adhesive to the tabs and kind of connect the sides. And if you are looking for a more in-depth tutorial on assembling this Pyramid box die, I'll be sure to put one at the end of this video that you could link to and kind of see more details or a slowed down version of this box assembly. Now I wanted to mention I only used two of the three pieces that are kind of segmented for this candy corn. There is a tip piece that you can use as well, which would probably be the white tip that you would use for a candy corn, or you can change it up. You can do whatever you want. I used orange and pink, so you know. I decided not to use that so that you could see through the tip of my pyramid box once I put it all together. So that's totally optional. There's also a larger triangle base piece that you could assemble these on top of, so you could kind of use them separately as well to create candy corns on the front of a card or something like that. So as I mentioned before, I added adhesive to those side tabs, and I'm just connecting the sides of the box together to build my pyramid box. And then I'm going to take the top flap and just tuck it into the inside of the box, and that kind of seals up the box along the top. So that creates my little candy corn box. It comes together really quickly. It is kind of tricky to work with acetate like this when you're creating a box because you really have to work at reinforcing those score lines, but it can be done and it creates a fun way to kind of change up these box dies as well. Now I finished off this pyramid box die with another modern tag and the word spooky, which I stamped and die cut using the brand new Hocus Pocus stamp and coordinating die set. Another fun way to create a fall themed gift box. And if you haven't fallen for gift boxes yet, I mean, what are you even doing with your life? So there you have it, some fall treat box inspiration for you. I really hope you enjoyed these projects, and I hope it's inspired you to kind of create with whatever box die that you might have laying around, kind of change up the look and give a little joy this fall season. Now, as always, I will have links to the featured products used in these projects in the description at YouTube. So if you're looking for something in particular, be sure you check there. Or you can head on over to ellenhudson.com to the coordinating blog post. I will have that linked below as well. Over there, you'll find more still shots, more information, and a complete list of supplies. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video and these projects. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications here on our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our paper crafting and card making video tutorials. Let me know in the comments below which of these 3 boxes is your favorite. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.